Buzzity buzzity bop! Zitty bop! Alright, that was really stupid. That's my David Lee Roth impression. We're going to cut through the noise on Roth IRAs and tell you the down and dirty on what you need to know to get started to make money in this retirement account. Let's go. Hey everybody, Brandon Boyd with The Brandon Boyd Show. First of all, I apologize again. That was my best David Lee Roth impression, and there's probably a good section of people that don't even know who that is. But in this video, we want to focus on something that we've seen comments on in our previous videos. If you go back into our video library, you will see that one of our recent videos was, what are your goals for 2021? A lot of the comments said that people wanted to learn how to start saving and making money and investing and retiring. We thought, well, how about we listen to the people that are watching our videos and get down and dirty and show you the easy way to start my favorite retirement account, the Roth IRA.
That's a great idea. I'm with that.
Okay, if you're trying to follow all the tickers on CNBC Business or Fox Business or whatever business channel you're watching, it can be nauseating, confusing, you don't know what you're looking at, and you don't know how to invest, and people try to use all this jargon and lingo that nobody knows what they're talking about. In this video, we're going to break down what a Roth IRA is, why is it a good thing, and who's eligible for it. And then you know what? We're going to leave it in your hands. Before we get going, I do want to make a disclaimer. Before you open an account, work with an investing professional and your tax preparer to make sure that you know all the implications of a Roth IRA. We're not going to go through every little thing in this video, but I want to cut to the core of what the Roth IRA is. Also, if you are not willing to get on the stock market roller coaster, don't do it. You're not ready to invest. Make sure you're comfortable with what you're putting your money into before you invest the first cent. I am not an investing professional. What I'm going to do is give you the basics, tell you what I do personally, and everything else is going to be up to you, and hopefully you'll find this information helpful. If you are ready to ride the stock market roller coaster, we're ready to get going. Let's hop on board. Let's go. So what is a Roth IRA? A Roth IRA is an individual retirement arrangement that allows you to put after-tax money into a retirement account. All of that money grows tax-free, and when you pull that money out after 59 and a half years old, it's tax-free. You've already paid the tax on the initial investment. Now that's a lot different than what a lot of people are doing with current 401k accounts with their employers. With 401k accounts, the taxes are deferred until later on. You're putting pre-tax money in.
Bye, Felicia.
However, with a traditional 401k, all of the growth that you have in that account is taxed when you take it out. So all that money that you accumulate when you retire at 59 and a half at the earliest to withdraw the money without penalty, it's all taxed. And I'm going to talk about the implications of that at the end of this video. There are some huge dollar savings if you pay the taxes up front.
Money up front.
The really nice benefit of that is people are locking in on historically low tax rates right now. If you pay the taxes on it currently, odds are they can't go much lower. They're really low right now. If you pay them later on when you retire, you're taking a chance that tax rates could go up 10-15%. We don't know, but you can lock in the tax rate right now. Now, there is a long laundry list of benefits to the Roth IRA, but I'll try to break down some of my favorite ones. The first one being the first piece that I mentioned, it's all tax-free when you take it out. You can't beat that, and when you see the examples at the end of this video, I think it will really highlight it. The other thing is that you're not required to withdraw from the Roth IRA when you hit 72 like you are with 401k accounts, and that's really important. You can continue contributing to the Roth IRA as long as you are earning enough income to be able to put money in, which is great. And one really cool feature, anybody can get involved with this. It costs very little to start a Roth IRA account, and that's why I wanted to focus on this first. It can cost as little as $50 to open a Roth IRA account, which is crazy.
You can't be serious, man. You cannot be serious!
That's almost nothing. work a few hours, work a shift, work whatever you have to, and go open up the account. As I mentioned before, make sure you're opening it with somebody who is teaching you the process along the way, especially if you're not comfortable with investing. Make sure you trust the people you're investing money with, and always keep track of your individual investments, even though you're putting some of the trust in someone else's hands. The great thing about a Roth IRA is that as long as you're earning an income, you can contribute to that specific account. So whether you're 17 years old or 70 years old,
it's been 84 years.
it does not matter. So for example, if you're a high schooler and you make $3,000 a year, you can contribute up to that amount of $3,000 into your account, but no more. Heck, your grandparents or your parents could even contribute that on your behalf if you want to save your own money, but you have the option to save up to that amount. The limit for an individual under the age of 50 is $6,000 per year, so that's the most you can put in. Now, if you are over 50 years old, you can put in $7,000 a year, so there is a limit there as well. If you're trying to play catch up on your retirement, or maybe you're late to the Roth IRA party, you can put $7,000 a year in if you are over 50 years old. Now, there are some income limits for a Roth IRA. Right now, for a single filer in 2021, it's a $140,000 limit on your income to be able to qualify for a Roth IRA. And if you are married filing jointly, that amount raises to $208,000. So if you are within those income limits, you can get a Roth IRA. However, if you subscribe to this channel and you make more money than that, I've got a little secret I'll show you in a later video. But don't tell anybody. This is just between me and you. Shh. You can open one too. Hang in there. With all that being said, let's get down to a couple of examples on what this means for you in opening a Roth IRA. So I've got some numbers in front of me. I'm going to take a look at this real quick and follow me along on the screen as well. So if you start a Roth IRA at age 25 and you stop at age 65 when you plan on retiring, hopefully you'll plan on retiring at some point. That's always a good thing to do. And let's say you've started with zero money in your account and you plan to contribute $500 a month, which is going to end up being the $6,000 a year that is your max for the Roth IRA. If you do that from 25 to 65 with an 8% annual return, which is pretty low, actually, and I'll show you what higher returns look like. If you do an 8% annual return, in 40 years you will have over $1.7 million. Just on Roth IRA money alone, that doesn't include anything that you're doing with your employer and 401ks. This is just straight Roth IRA money. Now, contributions-wise, you will have put in $240,000, and the growth will be $1.5 million. Now, think about this. If you have this in a 401k that's tax-deferred, which is traditional, a lot of people do this, that $1.7 million is going to be taxed at your tax rate. So imagine that that's at 20% taxes. Okay, if you're at a 20% tax rate, then you are going to owe about $340,000 worth of taxes on that money. It's a lot of money. It's a lot of taxes. Don't you want that in your pocket? Whereas, if you use this in a Roth IRA, that entire $1.7 million is yours, tax-free. That's yours in a big fat check every single month. Can you believe that? That's a lot of money. The conversation that we just had is a $200,000 to $300,000 conversation in your retirement. Is that important to you? It's important to me. I would like to have a few $100,000 extra laying around that isn't going to taxes. It's your money. You worked hard for it. Why not take all that tax-free growth? Now let's take another example and say that you invested a little bit more aggressively. The same scenario, but this time we invested more aggressively and we were at a 10% rate of return over the same period of time. If that's the case over the course of 40 years with 10% return, which by the way is within the realm of possibility and is actually closer to the average of what the stock market typically returns, you will have over $3.1 million in Roth IRA money alone. That's crazy. That's crazy. That's a lot of money. What would you do with $3.1 million? I don't know. What would you do? Let me know in the comments. I'd like to know. Maybe you can share some of it with me, all right? Well, we'll go do something. I don't know. Probably not. But you can enjoy it yourself. Now, in that, you still contribute $240,000, and all of the growth, which is close to $3 million, is tax-free. If you do this in a standard 401k that's tax-deferred, you're not paying taxes on it now, you're paying later, at a 20% tax rate, just to keep it simple, that's going to be like $620,000 in taxes that you're going to pay on this $3.1 million when you retire. $600,000. That's a lot of taxes paid. $600,000, that buys an extra house, an extra vacation house. Heck, it may buy a yacht. I haven't been yacht shopping lately. I don't know. How much are yachts? Long story short, that's a lot of money. You put this same amount of money in a Roth IRA, you pay zero. Zero. Can you imagine that? This entire $3.1 million is yours and in your pocket and not going to taxes later on. That is the benefit of the Roth IRA. I know it can be a pain to put in after-tax money, right? It's more money out of your pocket initially, but man, all that growth over 20, 30, 40 years being tax-free, man, talk about the difference between retiring and retiring really well.
I'm living the good life, man.
It's all in the tax savings right here, and that's why I highly recommend the Roth IRA. But what do you think? Do you have a Roth IRA right now? Have you seen the benefit of it? Are you in retirement right now and you're drawing off a Roth IRA? What do you think about the information that I just showed you? What are you going to do with that extra money? Let us know down in the comments. This is really important. The conversation we just had could save you $500,000 if you just put in up to the limit on a Roth IRA every year. $500,000, right? You can thank me later. Just send a thank you note, send me an email or something like that. That'd be great. This is a very serious conversation, and people need to really start taking this seriously after what we saw in the comments. A lot of people are interested in investing, and maybe they're scared to do it. They don't know what to do. Find an investing professional, talk with your tax professional, and ask if the Roth IRA is a good option for you. Again, we appreciate you watching this video. As always, don't forget to be awesome. Give us a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel. Hit the bell notifications. This train's going to keep rolling. We've got a ton of great information coming your way, a lot of fun videos, and I can't wait to share them with you. And we'll see you on the next episode of The Brandon Boyd Show. We'll see you soon.